When it comes to an audio solution, there is truly a minefield of entry-level options to plough through. So today, we're going to try and give you a helping hand. Okay, so before we get into the video, if you'd like to get your hands on our favourite set, then don't worry, as we'll be giving some away. But make sure you stick around to the end, as there's a hidden word you need to find to win. Right, so today we're going to be looking at and rating 4 key factors for each set of earphones, and finally scoring with a mark out of 5. These factors are comfort, sound quality, microphone quality, and battery life. First on the agenda today are the earphones we're going to be treating as the benchmark, and they're the official OnePlus True Wireless Earbuds. The first thing we're going to examine is the OnePlus Earbuds case. The case actually feels quite nice. The hinge is really solid and has a nice snap when opening and closing it. When shaking the case, the rattle is definitely minimal. And finally, we can also see the earphones charge via USB-C. So now to test. First of all, we looked at comfort. Honestly, I found the comfort level surprising. When you remove the earphones from the case, they certainly feel substantial in size, and I thought that would make for an uncomfortable experience. But they get a thumbs up for comfort from me. Second is sound quality. Honestly, at the price point of these earphones, I did expect a little bit more. While they were satisfactory at the low end, when you start to put them to the test with some bass, they fall pretty flat. Overall though, the sound quality is only okay. Let's take a look at the microphone.
When we conducted the microphone test, it wasn't all that bad. Yes, it lacks a little something, but you do get enough clarity and even hints of crispness.
Finally, we look at battery life. OnePlus claims 7 hours of listening time here. We had them playing for an hour non-stop and the battery had depleted by about 15%. So the 7-hour claim seems about right here. Overall, as the OnePlus is our benchmark for this test, they get 3 marks out of 5. Now we take a look at the FX True Wireless Earphones. Coming to the case, the lid feels a little on the flimsy side. This lets the FX earphones case down most of all here. When you give them a shake test, there is pretty much zero rattle, but the lid does start to flounce time to time. Finally, we find the charging here is actually done via a lightning port. When it came to testing, again, we start with the comfort level. They're lightweight and feel really nice for the price point. However, things start to go downhill a little when we listen to the audio. Honestly, the audio didn't really hold up too much. In some places, the audio was okay, but in most, it was a tinny and empty experience for me.
During the microphone test, again, this was a bit of a letdown. The test phase sort of sounds like it was recorded while being covered with a large bucket.
And finally, we come to battery life. FX claim 6 hours of listening time here. As the earphones depleted by about 25% in an hour, it seems listening time here is more to 3 to 4 hours rather than the 6 hours claimed. Unfortunately, the overall rating here is going to be just 1.5 marks out of 5. Before we head into the remaining earphones today, you can get your hands on any of them by heading to the links in the description. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. You can't win our giveaway if you aren't. And remember to keep watching for that hidden word. Third on the agenda today is the Orki T21 earbuds. Looking at the case here, it's okay. The material isn't the nicest, and honestly, even with just a little bit more attention, the case would have been wonderful. Overall, it feels a little bit on the cheap side. However, I will say it doesn't feel like it's going to break. As a plus though, the earphones do charge via USB-C. After examining the case, I wasn't expecting a lot when it came to comfort. And boy was I wrong. The T27s are extremely comfortable, and it's very easy to forget that you're wearing them. While this may seem crazy, they are the comfiest earphones I've tried apart from my AirPods Pro. I was even more shocked when it came to the sound quality. At this price point, I was blown away. The T27s stood up to everything we threw at them. And while they obviously don't have the finesse of the AirPods Pro, put them next to something like the Galaxy Buds and you'll be hard pushed to find a difference.
We then, of course, moved to testing the microphone. And again, I could not believe it. Yes, sure, no earphone microphones are brilliant, but for the products they are, it was great. And I found myself shocked yet again.
After playing music for an hour through the headphones, I checked the battery life and noticed only 9% depletion. Going on this, you should get almost 10 hours of listening time out of a single charge. So the rating. They have to get 4 marks out of 5 for me. If the case was just a little bit better, they would have climbed that bit higher. However, I'm glad they spent the money making the earphones right. The penultimate earphones today are the Xiaomi Basic 2 True Wireless Earbuds. So when I first got these earbuds in my hand to check out the case, I was quite worried. The case feels very light and cheap. It also rattles a hell of a lot. Don't get me wrong, the styling is nice, but I just feel like I would break the case fairly quickly. On a final observation here, they also charge via micro USB. For the first time on the testing day, when I placed the earbuds in, they felt unnatural. They seemed to sit in a really odd position, and for me, they just felt like they were always going to fall out. So overall, not a pleasant experience. Also, when I put the earphones into my ear, I actually pressed the button. And while it's nice to have a tactile button on a phone or a keyboard, having one on your earphone is actually quite unpleasant, as you just get a massive, loud noise in your ear. When it came to sound quality, honestly, it wasn't all that bad. It was better on the whole over the FX, and even the OnePlus sound, but still lacking a lot in comparison to the T27s.
After performing the microphone test, I had to double check to make sure I wasn't replaying the audio file from the FX entry. Honestly, I think Xiaomi has utilised the same microphone system in these earbuds, as the result is almost identical.
Moving on to the battery life, the Xiaomi earphones was better than I expected. After an hour's listening time, the usage was about 16%. So you could expect to get around 6 hours of listening time here. Overall, this is a very mixed bag. So personally, I think it would be fair to give Xiaomi 2.5 marks out of 5 here. Finally, we come to another entry from ORKY, and these are the T21 True Wireless Earbuds. Looking at the case, it comes in snow white with a matte-like finish. It feels quite cheap the moment you open the lid. There is very little rattle though, and the charging here is done by micro USB again. I will say here, just like the previous ORKYs, these don't feel like the case is going to break anytime soon. As with the other entries, we started with the comfort, and this was a bit of an odd experience. While not uncomfortable, you're very aware once they're in your ears. They're not a heavy earbud, but they do feel a little bulkier than most. When looking at the sound quality though, that's where ORKY seems to shine. Just like the T27s, the T21 range has great audio, and it's very close to its brethren.
Examining the microphone, I initially felt there was far too much artificial gain. I did then recognise the difference may have been due to the stem length and thickness, giving a greater sound canal, and thus affecting the audio. This makes them sound slightly worse than the T27s.
Finally, I looked at battery life. It wasn't bad, but also not the best. After an hour's use, I saw 14% usage, so expect around 6 hours of playing time. So, did you spot the secret word? If so, pop it in the comments below to be entered into the giveaway of these ORKY T27s. I've been Mark, and I'll see you all very soon.